Hello guys, welcome back to US Healthcare Academy. So guys, yesterday we saw some dates in Loop 2300, and those dates were onset of current symptoms or illness, initial treatment date, last visit or consultation date, acute manifestation of a chronic condition date, accident date, last menstrual period date, last x-ray date, and many more, including admission and discharge date. And today we will move ahead and see what other segments are there in loop 2300 on the claim level. So after DTP is finished, then starts the PWK segment, and it's just a single segment. PWK is basically uh, to provide information regarding any attachment that is going to follow this claim. So guys, remember, till now, not every trading partner, when I say trading partner, I mean clearing houses or payers. So whoever touches this EDI file through whatever entity this EDI file passes, we call them trading partners. So at this moment, clearing houses and payers are the trading partners. So not all the trading partners support attachment in an EDI 837 file. There is, I think, just one who supports it, and at this point in time, I don't remember the name, but yeah, there's just one pair who supports the attachments. So basically, uh, it's a general practice that suppose some uh, data some supporting data is required to be sent along with along with this claim. So what doctor's office will do is they will just send this attachment information, and and then they will send that data separately, maybe in a mail or uh, by fax or by email, you know. So let's go through this segment, and I think it will make more sense once we go through this segment. So PWK, the first element of the PWK segment, contains the attachment report type code. So basically this just simply means that what is the document that you're going to send. B4 means referral form, DA means dental models, DG means diagnostic reports, EB means explanation of benefits, QZ means support data for claim, RR means radiology reports. So this is this first element. So in this case it is QZ, which means it is some supporting data for this claim. Now the second element, which is the attachment transmission code. So basically just to let the payer know that how you're going to send it. So so there are multiple values. If it is AA, that means it will be available on request at provider site. Second is BM, that means by mail. In this case we have BM, so it means we'll send it by mail. EL, electronic only. EM means email, and FX means by fax. So this is quite self-explanatory. All these are blank, and then comes our identification code qualifier. And guys, AC means the attachment control number. That is the meaning of AC. So basically, if it is available on request at provider site, then attachment control number is not required. But if you're sending it by any other means, like by mail, electronic, email, by fax, so basically just simple, what you have to do is this can be any random number, but it has to be unique. So the payer, payer has this number in their system, and when you actually send the attachment, they match this number and they know that okay, this attachment belongs to this particular claim. Okay, that is attachment control number. So hope this PWK segment is clear. Understand the concept. The concept is should be very clear. The concept is that if we are going to send any documentation for this specific claim, then the information about that document goes into PWK segment. Moving ahead, now AMT segment. So simple, it is required when patient has made some payment towards this claim. So if patient is paying out of pocket any amount, maybe like a copay, so that amount will go in AMT segment in loop 2300. So amount qualifier code is F5. F5 means patient amount paid. So this shows the payer that patient has made this payment towards this claim. And simple amount paid is a dollar value, so 152.45. Okay, so next is the ref segment, and there are many ref segments. If you see, same like the DTP segment. So ref segment is nothing but any reference information for this claim. So that information will go in ref segment with different qualifiers. So let's look at it. So for this is the special payment reference number. And when is this required? It is required when mandated by government law or regulation to obtain authorization for specific services, but for some reason uh, the service was performed without obtaining authorization. Simply means that uh, in US healthcare there are some services, some procedures which cannot be done without authorization. You know, the provider has to take an authorization from the payer to perform those services, and the payer will assign a prior authorization number for that service, and only then you can perform that service. However, in some special situations where you may go ahead and perform it, but you have to tell the payer that why it was performed without an authorization. So that information goes in this ref segment, and 4N is a qualifier for that. That's special payment reference number. Now, second element of the ref segment contains the actual code why this service was performed without obtaining the authorization. So one means immediate or urgent care. So in this case it is one. So basically whatever procedure was done, that was urgent and there was no time to obtain the authorization, and that's the reason this was done without the authorization. And similarly there are other codes. You can go through it, you can pause the video and see what all other codes are there. Moving ahead, another ref segment, but this time qualifier is EW. EW means mammography certification number. So whenever a provider does a mammography screening or any mammography services, that is when a mammography certification number is required, and that goes in ref segment with qualifier EW, and the actual certification number is here in second element. Moving ahead, referral number. So again, ref segment qualifier 9F this time. So 9F means referral number, and the actual referral number goes in the second element of the ref segment. Let's look at the rule. So it is required when a referral number is assigned by the payer or utilization management organization and a referral is involved. So quite self-explanatory. If there is a referral involved and if the payer or the UMO assigns the referral number, then that has to be sent here in this segment in loop 2300. Moving ahead, prior authorization number, we just spoke about it. So if there is a prior authorization involved, then the prior authorization number goes here, and the qualifier for prior authorization number is G1, and the actual prior authorization number goes here in ref second position. Now, just to repeat, prior authorization number, like let me explain you with an example. So there is there's an organization called as utilization management organization. So they define the utilization of any services, like just to give you an example, uh, to avoid overuse of like maybe insulin in case of diabetes, or they decide that uh, if the patient is suffering from continence means that where they do not have control on their bladder, and they need adult diapers. So in this case, maybe they can use 3 or 4, so 4 into 30, maybe 120 diapers per month. So that is, they fix a quantity, like, to basically it's like a fair usage policy. So example, a person suffering with diabetes goes to the provider, and he's taking one insulin shot, but he's still seeing some symptoms. He's following his diet, doing everything right. So in this case, suppose provider decides that maybe he needs 2 insulin shot. We need to increase his insulin intake, and in that case, he cannot decide on its own. He has to send a referral order. Uh, I'm sorry, he has to send a prior authorization request to the payer, and depending on the medical necessity, and the justification provided by the provider. The payer or UMO decides, approves or denies that prior authorization. And if they approve, then obviously they will give a prior authorization referral number, like reference number, and that number goes here. So just an example, but there are a lot of procedures which do require prior authorization. Moving ahead, clinical laboratory improvement amendment number, which is called as CLIA number. So basically, this number is required on a claim if any in-house lab services have been provided, or if they have been purchased from outside, they have been ordered from outside. This CLIA number is required. So CLIA number is basically it's like a number assigned to the laboratories, and the reference number, the reference identification qualifier for that is X4. Investigational device exception number, which is this one, with qualifier LX. This is required when there is a use of an investigational device, which means that device is not in the market yet, but it is just an investigational device. And if any provider decides to use that device, or finds if they want to use it for certain procedure, then they will have to take approval from FDA, and FDA will decide if they can use that investigational device, and then they will assign an investigational device exemption number, and that number will go here. Medical record number. So this is MRN. This is called as MRN. This is like a unique number assigned to that patient, uh, which is unique to a unique number for that patient, for that hospital, or for that provider. That is the MRN number. And this is not always required. It is only required if the provider thinks that for any future inquiries or follow up, this number can be referenced. Then basically this number is sent on the claim. Else, no. All right. So lastly, uh, care plan oversight number. So care plan oversight means, guys, in case of where patient is in the hospice is a facility where patient is placed when they're suffering from some critical illness, and there is no chance of recovery. Like, it's like at the end stages, the patient is placed in hospice, where they are given kind of palliative care, just to make sure that their death is comfortable. So this care plan oversight is nothing but the home health agency's number, or the hospice number, and this is only required when you're billing Medicare for the hospice services. So that's about our ref segment. I hope this is clear, and if you have any questions, please drop a comment, and I'll make sure to respond back as soon as possible. Stay tuned for the next videos. We are going to cover uh, in loop 2300, subloops like 2310. We have rendering provider, referring provider, supervising provider, service facility information, and ambulance information. So stay tuned for that. And until we meet next time, you guys have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.